So you want to include some sort of activities or action items within your online course, but you're not really sure what to include? Well, here are 3 suggestions for you. Hi, Cindy Nicholson here from thecoursewhisperer.co, where I help entrepreneurs create online courses that their clients rave about. Now, in my last video, I talked about how important it was to have activities or action steps after each lesson. So that may have left you wondering, well, what kind of lessons do I include, or action items do I include? Well, that's what I want to talk about in this video. I'm going to share with you 3 different types of activities you can include in your course, and it depends on the content that you're sharing. So let me dig in. So when I mean it depends on the content you're sharing, take a look at your lessons. And what you will find is each lesson is either teaching your students to know something or to do something. Now there's other types of lessons that you'll have, but those are 2 of the main ones, that you want them to know something or you want them to do something. So let's start with the activities that you would include for your clients if you wanted them to know something. So if it's something they need to know, that can actually be broken down into 2 smaller buckets. Information that they need to know on a general basis, and information they need to know such that it has to be memorized, it has to come top of mind, they need to know it in order to be successful in learning whatever outcome you're offering them. But if it's for general information that they should know this in order to really understand the content you're sharing, like what is a carbohydrate or what is accrued interest, what I would recommend is after the lesson, provide them with some sort of reference sheet that they can go back to remind themselves of the content that you've learned in the lesson. So this is something they would have handy post-course that they can always go back and refer to. And I'm not talking about like a 15-page document that you create summarizing everything you said in the video. Get it down to 1 page, a 1-page reference sheet that they can print off, that they can refer to so they've got the information. If it is the other type of information they need to know such that it has to be memorized and it has to come quickly to them, then this is where you want to create some sort of activity where there's repetition of the learning. And I guess this is probably where you might include quizzes so that they are retrieving the information quickly and that they can repeat it so that it's memorized for them moving forward. So if it's information they need to know, either create a reference sheet if it's kind of general information you'd like to know. If they need to have it memorized and it needs to come top of mind, maybe create some sort of quiz where they're repeating that information over and over so that they can start to memorize it. Now let's move on to the second type. So the second type of content you'll probably have in your course is you're wanting to teach your students to do something, a skill that you want them to learn in order to get the outcome that they want. Now, if it is a skill, then that requires practice. So what I recommend is after your lesson, create some sort of scenario that they can go through to start to practice that skill. And if possible, have it as close to real life as you can so that they really can see how that skill can apply to what it is they're ultimately trying to achieve with your course. So take a look at your lesson, see if it is you're wanting them to be able to do something by the end of your lesson. And if you're wanting them to do something by the end of the lesson, get them practicing. So your activity post-lesson will be around creating some sort of action item around them starting to apply that skill. All right, so what kind of activities or worksheets or what do you include at the end of each lesson? Well, as you can see, it depends. It depends on what you're trying to teach. So take a look at each lesson that you have created and figure out what it is you're trying to get them to achieve in that lesson. Is it some knowledge you want them to gain, or is it a skill you want them to develop? And depending on your answer to that question, you're going to create a different action item post-lesson depending on that. And to help you with this, I've created actually a 1-pager myself. You don't need to memorize it, but you may want to refer to it. So I've created a reference guide for you to be able to know what type of worksheet or activities that you include at the end of each of your lessons. So you can download that below. Now, if you like this video and you would like to get more tips and tricks around how to create online courses that are really leveled up, then subscribe to my channel or visit me at my website at thecoursewhisperer.co, and you can download my free guide, Top 5 Mistakes Entrepreneurs Make When They Create Online Courses. Thanks so much for watching.